Just because something has a cool acronym doesn't mean you actually should do what they say. That's what you're focusing on, pulling, just violates all principles. Principles will save your life. Techniques will get you killed. You guys are really trying to stir things up, man. You keep sending me stuff that you know is popular and you want me to break it down. Well, I'm going to do that. There's a particular technique that's shown in Krav called the RCAT. That's their firearm defense protocol, basically. I've talked about it before, but this one's circulating around a lot. I thought I'd just kind of give you a quick breakdown on it because my whole thing is the idea of principle-based training versus technique-based training. And I think there's some really valuable lessons to learn from it. Yes, it'll probably piss some people off, but hey, you know, that's the game. Before we do that, if you want to start putting together a plan for you and your family that is principle-based on how to minimize the chances of violence coming into your life. Remember, it's not just all punching and kicking. You got to have a plan. Go to timlarkin.com, give us your email, and we will send you a free guide that'll start putting together everything step by step for you to make sure that it minimizes the chance of violence entering your life and disrupting you and your family's lifestyle. So go to timlarkin.com. So yes, RCAT, cool acronym. It stands for redirect, control, attack, takeaway. How do you go after somebody that has a firearm on you? Well, it's easy to remember. The movements are easy to remember. And you can drill it. Is it going to get you anything? That's the question. So I'm going to break it down. And this is the way it's shown. So I will break it down and I will just give you my thoughts on it. I'll let it play through the first time. And then I've broken it down and given myself a little bit of time to talk about each section of it.
First thing I'm doing is redirecting the line of fire. Fastest thing I have on my body is my hand, so I redirect it. After redirecting, I'm controlling. After controlling, I'm attacking. And finally, after the attack, I am taking this weapon away. Redirect, control, attack, and take away. Our acronym for handgun defenses is RCAT.
They redirect the vector. They then control the firearm, pushing it into the belly. They then attack, quote unquote, and then they take away. They pull the weapon away and take control of the firearm. That is their firearm defense protocol that they're doing. Okay, so the first part is the control. So I broke this down a little bit and let's highlight some things.
Line of fire.
Okay, if you look at this right here, you know, just looking at this, all he's done is he has taken his hand, because his hands are, you know, fast. He says that later. And he redirected the vector. So the vector was coming in and he redirected it. But look, this guy is still standing. He's still in balance. He has not disrupted him in any way, shape, or form. All he's done is he's pushed the gun to the side. He has not penetrated in. Look where his feet are. He's not solved the vector problem. He's just redirected the vector. And it's a redirection that it should have been done when you solve a vector problem, you solve the vector problem. You penetrate into the vector. It's a very easy concept when you understand that, but look where his feet are. He's just off to the side. Nothing has happened. So again, he's disrupted nothing. And the real threat is what? It's the guy's active brain. He can still think and move. He could pull back at this point and the vector would intersect him again. Had he penetrated, it would be much harder for the vector to intersect him again. So again, just by simply penetrating into the strike that he's doing, when it's not really a strike, it's a push. It should be a strike. We'll talk more about that later. Nothing's really changed much in his favor other than he's temporarily pushed the vector out of his way so the muzzle can't intercept him. Now he's going to go into control, and this is where he's going to penetrate. He will penetrate in, and he's pushing the firearm into the belly of the individual. Okay, now look, he's pushing in here because now he's going to set up his attack. Again, he penetrated a little bit, but he's still, he's not even toe-to-toe with him at this standpoint. And it's not really a strike, it's just a control. Like you said, he's calling it a control. And now he's setting up the big attack. This is the thing that's supposed to disrupt everything and make the technique work for him to be able to get control of the handgun. And let's look at what he's doing. Watch where he strikes.
Controlling, I'm attacking.
Where did he strike? Where? I saw it go past the neck. Was he trying to punch the throat? Most of these times when I see this, they're literally punching the chin. They're literally putting two knuckles on the chin. From a standpoint of targeting, it's so vague. What is the attack? And what is it? It's a static strike. It's just a boom, boom. There's no body weight in that. It's not a body weight shot. And there's no specificity on where to go on the human body, what kind of results you're going to get. We're talking about a firearm on you. You're going to want to know exactly where to go on the human body and what results you're going to get and why you're doing what you're doing. But none of that's given. It's just, we just attack. And we do this really cool fast punch with you don't know where, and it just works. Trust me. And then they do the one thing that just, this is just hard to watch. It's their takeaway. Okay. He's going to go in and he is going to grab this and then he's going to pull it away. Watch what he does. He's grabbing it. Boom. And what does he do? He pulls away. Now, why is that a problem? Why is pulling a problem? Okay. If you pull on something, what normally happens? They come together. He has penetrated in. He has controlled the weapon. He has put an attack in. And now, as the guy probably is going back a little bit from the strike, if he's been successful, he's pulling on a tool that all this guy has to do, all the other guy, that's holding the weapon, if he just sits down, as I've shown millions of times, the firearm will go right center line into the other guy. It just happens each and every time. It just pulls right in. There's just basic tenets. When you go after somebody with a firearm, you push. You push to the ground, meaning you go forward, forward, forward. You do not pull. You never pull on a firearm. Pulling brings the center line mass. Now, if somebody's trying to disarm you, yes, drop back and pull. And the firearm will go center line right into that person each and every time that's trying to take your weapon. But on a supposed takeaway here, that's what you're focusing on, pulling. Just violates all principles.
I am taking this weapon away. Redirect.
He's taking the weapon away. The man that he took it from is still active. What does he know about the firearm? Does he know if it's loaded? Does he know how to operate it? Is it his? He knows nothing about it. He's assuming that he has a firearm and he somehow now has a trump card. How many other videos have I shown you of predators that literally give away a tool, a weapon to fool the guy because the real thing they want to do is hidden? What is the threat? The threat is an active human brain. Everything that was just shown in this left the man with an active human brain. Why? No specificity. Where do you target? Where do you strike? With what tool? When you take the tool away, what are you doing with it? Why are you pulling rather than pushing? Why are you not solving the vector problem all the way through? These are principles that you have to understand. A cool technique that you can memorize, that's fine, but it'll get you killed. This does not take into account the way the body responds to trauma. This does not take into account the way you go after somebody with a firearm. And it doesn't take into account the fact that humans are able to be dangerous without a tool in their hands. Meaning if you're focused grabbing on the tool the whole time and you're leaving everything available to you, the guy could just go right in and injure you. There's so many things to consider in this. But why do people like it? Easy to remember, cool acronym. Again, principles will save your life, techniques will get you killed. Be very careful when you are learning something, rote memorization, something that you just don't have to remember. That's just not the way violence works. You have to understand true principles. You have to understand how to go after somebody. You have to understand that every time you put your hands on somebody, you want to accomplish one thing. You want to create chaos in the body. You want to create an injury. You want to create some sort of disorientation. Everything he did kept the guy in balance. No penetration. No body weight strikes, no specificity on where to strike, and the violation of pulling on a firearm. Yeah, I'd give it pretty much a D-, being nice. Anyways, listen, this is not a slam on anyone in particular or anything. It's just to get you to think. It's just not that easy when you go after stuff. You can't just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You have to understand. You have to look at how violence goes down. Look how people use weapons. Look at people that have been successful taking somebody out with a firearm. They penetrate past the vector. They use body weight. They injure the other person. They take them out. They know exactly where they're going. Yes, I saw a guy write in. He goes, does RCAT equal RIP? And yes, very funny. Ha ha. But yeah, this is one I would definitely discard. It needs a lot of improvement. Now, I'm sure I'm going to hear from people that are going to say that, oh, that's not the way I show it. I show it this way. I show it that way. That's fine. The vast majority of videos that I've seen on this particular technique are shown exactly this way, some version of this. Again, keeping the person in balance, not penetrating past the vector, not using any body weight in the strike, no specificity in the targets to strike, or horrible targeting. And then again, assuming that you can pull a firearm successfully every time. And then assuming that having the firearm gives you some advantage when you know nothing about the firearm itself. Those are my thoughts. Now listen, if you want to start putting together your plan for you and your family, again, go to timlarkin.com, give us your email, and we will send you a guide that will take you step by step to start putting together a full plan that will minimize the chance of violence coming into your life. So until next time, stay safe.